Hold on, just a moment. 何これ? Yeah, I'm frozen. Maybe I'm stuck like this. Oh no. Look at me. I don't know what's the word. Frozen. Hehe. Smart word. 何かな? Hi, konbannya. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Good evening. My name is Anzu, and I'm an apricot that... What do I do? That delivers packages from me to you. Amnesia! Oh my god. Okay. So, for today's delivery package. That's right. Package. With capital PH. Package. We have the Great Ace Attorney. So we're going to continue the Clouded Kokoro case, the 4th case. So we're going to be in the second part of the trial. That's right, trial. Say it with me, trial. And I believe it's the last part actually of this case. How is me? Me's good, and I hope you guys are good too, ne? If you're not doing well, then you will believe. Oh hell no, it's the lovey-dovey couple. Eh. I have considered the defense counsel request for further submission examination of the jury. Let's oofy all of these peeps. If it annoys you, well, there's nothing you can do about it. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Oh my god. The jurors' contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. This is harder than I thought. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? Dear me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Can't cage? Haha! I'm an outlaw, free outlaw here in YouTuber. Haha. You can't cage me here? Nuh-uh. Yes. Considerably more tangible arguments from all the members of the jury this time around, it seems. Ziggy McZuggers. For a moment, I thought you were going to say Chimkin McNuggies. Nuggies, chicken nuggies, nuggets. Oh, now I want nuggets. With one notable exception, of course. Oh no, am I prepared to do this on Van Zeeks? My learned student's friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness's testimony. That's the best I can do. So the court must accept the fact that this was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. Hello, meme lord. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to uwufy everybody. But man, this is difficult. This is more difficult than I thought. And moreover, Ka-chow! No one else was even at the scene of the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is shot one set in stone. Hello, Sunaku! Hello! Thank you for bear hug. Bear hug. I hope you've been well, ne? I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. I'm trying to uwify everybody. That means I'm afraid that during this submission examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. I feel like they're sounding like Bugs Bunny a bit. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. What's up, Doc? And there I was thinking this might be hard. Oh, they called you Grandpa? Oh, so they were susceptible. Grandpa Zero. Grandpa Zero. Yeah. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure then. I don't think I can keep this up. Go, man.
That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please.
My brain could not uwify everything.
I presume you are prepared, counsel.
Oh yes, my lord. Alright, Ryunosuke. Focus your mind now. Channel my inner shonen protagonist. You could have kept it a secret. You should have. Now you're spreading the nickname. There's nothing you can do about it now. Grandpa Zero. Grandpa Zero. Oh, Grandpa Zero, where's Grandma? Where's Grandma? Clearly the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Miss Garrideb. We have a book that disappeared from the Garrideb's house on the evening of the incident. And the 4th book was found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link these two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. There's no grandma, you're single bear. Oh no, we must find you a grandma. We need to open applications for grandma. Grandma Zero. Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garrideb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say. The defense's rebuttal.
Oh, I hate this couple. PDA.
The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his? Oh, now he sounds like cowboy. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Don't worry, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
誰かな? Let's go with Gary Deb.
Goody dip, goody dip.
Let's press you. What is press again? I can't see. My video cam is blocking the screen. It's Q.
Mata!
You don't need applications. You're perfectly happy being single.
No, because we are society, and too bad for you, we have standards that not everybody agrees to, but we implement. So, you have to get guama.
For those who don't understand, that was a sarcastic thing. Okay? It's a joke.
Hello, Skillmo.
Welcome, welcome. You missed everybody being ooified. But the little book was on fire at the time, wasn't it? With flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb. Well, he brought it upon himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have risen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrideb. Never you mind that. The point is we were just having a jovial little dispute and nothing more. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with the crime. Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrideb's relentless onslaughts.
Why, you're happy you missed it, Skillmo? It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Trouble. Trouble.
Wait a minute. They had a fire in their home. Where do you live, old man? Wait, yeah, where do you live, old man? You're going to live as a hermit in the woods?
No. Society says no, you have to get married, and then you have to have children who will also have to get married and have their children and children and children. Because society says single is being bad. Wow. Especially if you're a woman. Mata!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
In this case?
Sorry, what's that? You have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about that fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top of it, it did. What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Of course not, it was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire?
Oh, what a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it.
The windows?
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. Devil worship, lol. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept
My tongue is dying.
an alternative explanation.
Yes.
I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike. That's the spirit. Let's make it Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy, that's the spirit, Naruhodo. Now go get him.
How is that, Minasan? How is that, apricot? Was it good? I'm a little rusty on the Mickey Mouse. Okay, let's see. I don't think there's much to say about the 3 books. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed. If the window was closed and the books were on fire... Okay, I don't know if I relate this to juror number 4, like Mrs. Maid, I forgot her name, Gary Deb, or do I pin it against the old man? Well, I guess it's closer to the old man since he mentioned the... what do you call that? The windows?
IGIARI.
These 2 jurors' statements clearly contradict one another.
They do?
How exactly, counsel?
Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me.
What you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up.
Juror number 3, do you see?
Oh, me?
See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6 account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter.
Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the...
Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garideb household. And Mr. Garideb had the following to say about it.
Oh, hello, TP. I hope you don't mind if I call you TP. But hi, welcome. You caught the stream. Yes, you caught it like Pokemon. Yeah.
But yes, welcome. So yeah, we're on the 4th case of this game. I think we're at the last part of it, like the 2nd part of the trial. So hopefully we'll finish this case in this stream.
Haha. Welcome. Make yourself at home. Go get the munchies if you'd like.
The whole place filled with smoke. Oh, my hat!
Nani? Look around. No, not there.
Oh my gosh, she's drinking that tea.
Oh, unlimited tea.
Oh, really? You're catching up on the videos?
Oh, I appreciate it. Arigato. Thank you.
I hope the voice acting and the jokes don't bother much. Juror number 4, Do you have something to say about that? Oh my god, it sounds so shonen. Mrs. Garrideb! Oh dear me! What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did?
Eh?
Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire? Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course, I should have realized. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrideb's formal statement.
Dum bum 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 bum.
Now you mention it, yes. The window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true. Ho 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 ho. Mata. Mata. Oh Lord. The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrideb told us he had been reading. Oh, well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as well as you know. I really don't. I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Eh?
Well, even I caught on that.
How would you know the title? How are you sure? Right, Mr. Muscle? Mr. Hardworker?
Choto. Chotomate kudasai. What is this? Juror number 5? Oh, you know something? I remember what it was that memory had blocked out.
Ah.
I was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back.
Ow.
What is this pose?
It's muscle. Muscle. Do you guys have muscle? I don't have muscle. Well, maybe a bit. I don't know.
Is it considered muscle? He's strong boy, yes.
He drinks milk, not alcohol. He drinks cow juice. That's facts.
Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrideb, or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. Ugh.
You have muscle, but it's buried in fat. That's okay.
Same. No problem. Muscle is muscle. Muscle love. I probably have muscle under some fats too somewhere out there.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh,
Oh dear, what a disaster. There is some you believe, Zidi.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
oh,
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did. About an inch deep.
Ugh. No words, just terror.
I could smell it then, you know. The god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
what?
Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind.
Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later if I dare.
Yeah, domestic non-consensual hitting. Yes,
I don't know if I can say the word abu se in YouTube. I don't know, there's a lot of censorship in this place.
Press.
Hamata. Mata ne.
No.
Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you? That's right. She was chopping meat with it. Had a tidy edge on it, believe it? Still, it's all memories, isn't it? It started with that smile she threw me when we were courting. And since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship.
Domestic caboose. Alright, I can use that. Kaboosh kamoosh. Alright. It's not censored? Oh, just a certain topic. Okay, thank God.
Okay.
There was a cup, then a glass, then a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wardrobe, a cooker, a bathtub?
Huh? ちょっと待って. Bathtub? Huh? How? Huh? I think he married Wonder Woman or something.
Huh. Your wife must be even beefier than you. And things came to a head last week when she threw me right into the Thames.
Huh?
Still, she's not so bad when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really.
I'm so happy for you.
If you want to know what I think this whole idea of ladies first that we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads who've been tossed in the Thames a few too many times by their wives.
Man.
A wife even stronger, yeah. I think it's kind of cool.
That's a very interesting theory.
What a terrible thought.
On the face of it,
This juror statement just sounds like a really extreme anecdote. But I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here. It's like an inner protagonist monologue, now that I think about it. Alright, okay. 何かな? Okay, so I don't
何かな?
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear? Ooh, that would be so cool. So the window was open when the Garidebs were arguing that day. Yes, Mrs. Garideb has finally admitted to it, which is a very significant victory for the defense. I feel like the fog's starting to clear, and an alternative explanation to this case is starting to show itself.
Show itself.
I still think this guy's statement and this one is useless, so let's concentrate on the others.
The window could have been open.
Okay. The window was open and you've forgotten, but it's true. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me.
Oh, kitchen knife. This is attempted murder.
Wait, what evidence do we have in our inventory? Letter E. There we go.
We have a book. We have a knife. Can we open it? I want to open it. Ka-chow!
It's missing the tip.
Wow. At least we can still peel potatoes with it.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. You're right. Well spotted, Miss Susato. I wonder what could have happened to it. Yes, you don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful.
Oh no, the tip is still inside. It's stuck. Oh, poor Miss Olive Queen.
Do you think it will bring back war flashbacks on this guy we presented to him? Oh, sorry, wrong button.
I
guess we can try.
I guess we can. 何かな?
But we can't present anything though. Hmm.
何かな?
Well, if she was throwing things, she could have probably thrown the knife, right? So maybe... I'm just gonna guess. I think... IGIARI!
Wow! Is it correct?
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Motto. I'm sorry, but as foreman of the jury, I have to object. That's complete nonsense.
What?
I'm a banker, don't forget. An educated man. And there's no contradiction as far as I can see. Quite so, Mr. Foreman. I will not permit a whimsical attack against the good members of the jury council.
Wow, my life. Oh. I wonder who am I supposed to pit against each other? 何かな?
Fine, let's question all of them.
Mata!
But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book in fact belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yeah, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying the fiery scrap of with his wife or something, you said.
That's not exactly how I put it, no.
You always cheat when you play Ace Attorney and save before every big decision to avoid the game over. My first Ace Attorney game was Phoenix Wright's very first game that was placed in the DS.
I fell in love with the series from then on. I never really used a... No, I don't think I used a guide. I don't remember. Because I know I had game overs. So I never used the guides. I don't know. I enjoyed trying to guess. My brother, though, he was stuck at one point. So I believe he used a guide in one episode, I think, in one of the games. Well, I understand. Some people just don't know what to press next, and I get it. So it's fine. Hi.
Okay, so
I think that's what you call a strong alibi. So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves a Nipponese fella. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, just I have nothing witty left to say. Wah, my brain.
Okay, it's your turn, lady.
Mata!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
Not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right, I'm glad you omitted rational there.
Ah, so you just felt bad for Phoenix, right? Phoenix or Ryunosuke. Oh, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Feels sad when you fail, right? It's like, I put you down. So we have to make a new theory. So we have to present... No, we have to pit this second juror lady, the what you call this? Oh, she has no name, right? Juror number 2. We gotta pit her against someone, right? Ooh! Am I supposed to pit him and the girl against each other? And since it's kitchen knife in this testimony or statement, I have to present the pocket knife thingamabob after. I think? I could be wrong. We have 4 lives. 4 is a lucky number, they say. Oh! No music, it's right. It's right. Maybe? I don't know. I can be debated at times by Phoenix Wright games or Ace Attorney games. Those 2 statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Okay, I lost my momentum there. Good grief. You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Explain, counsel. Counsel.
Juror number 2. Do you perhaps think that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, what do you ever mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about?
Distant Ashley's tisk. No, Have I disappointed the great Astley? Our Lord and Savior Rick Astley? Well, oh.
We've demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garrideb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrideb household to the street below.
Huh? What now?
After all, Mrs. Garrideb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she'd had a feeling this might be what happened. Rule number 2, you can never let anyone down. Ah, true. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gullah. As a foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What is it? What? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation.
Oh, hello! You're back, yes. Welcome back, I remember.
Oh, your name has gotten longer. How am I gonna read that? I'm still gonna call you back anyway.
Welcome back. How you been?
Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense theory. Oh, I do my best to remember everyone, even if they haven't gone around for a really long time. The name goes off screen for you. Yeah, it's quite long. In my screen, it's cut into half-ish.
Pam 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 pam.
Percent is R, right?
How's everybody?
Well, I'm good. I hope you've been well as well, ne? Oh, that sounds so weird. I hope you've been well as well.
Well.
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garrideb. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court.
Oh, you're playing Sea of Thieves. I heard it's a good game. I've been contemplating to buy it.
But I heard it's kind of difficult if you don't really have people to play with, because people just ransack you, I think. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Oh! Good Lord, Cancer, what on earth are you doing? Ho ho ho! That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man.
Don't do it, TGP.
It's hard to solo. You're playing through the story missions. Ooh.
Oh, he's going solo. Wow.
My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb were in the throes? I think that's how you read it. Throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrideb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window, and a window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that? The book was found in the victim's grasp? Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in your hand? Even my missus hasn't got an aim like that.
Oh, Mrs. had not perfect aim.
He tried it, Zudi. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why We must now allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my. Oh. Mrs. Garadeb, your answer, please.
Oh, hello, MB. Oh, it's okay, I understand. Hehehe. Oh, thank you for the greeting. Gambarimasu. Take care at work, ne?
Oh, you've been playing for years?
Really, TPG? Wow, sugoi. That's kind of cool.
Living solo in a game filled with lots of...
Ransacking. That's cool, that's cool.
Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh. 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 I don't know how to make it. Oh.
Faint like your old 90s anime. 80s anime. I don't know who's saying this. My lord.
My lord, I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word after all. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but... I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman. I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it mine.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
Kapow!
Oh. Oh. If anyone wanted to play, I'd be up for sailing with you. Ooh, I'll let you know if I ever end up buying the game. I'll probably get it if it's on sale.
We did it!
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo!
So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Ho ho ho.
Man, Santa Claus works hard.
Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue.
The grandpa's asleep? Probably. Or maybe he didn't even hear what they're talking about.
Now then, Lord Van Dix, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
He proceeds with wine. I wonder what happens if I give him this voice.
This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. Ha! But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter.
If I may, Lord Van Dix, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened.
It's ouchy all over again.
Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting. That you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of those places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? I miss doing Ouchie's scream. Maybe we should make a compilation of all of those when Ouchie was screaming.
It should already be more apparent that between the crime scene and the Garadeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garadeb's house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
Yes, exactly. The IGIARI is my favorite in Ouchie's dialogue.
IGIARI!
14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I'd imagined. And as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted, as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book wantonly hurled by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Ah!
Oh, his poor back. There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Miss Osato. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead. Ho ho ho.
The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, Juror number 4, Mrs. Joanne Garideb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! Saint Nick! Ho ho ho! A cross-examiner? Examination of a juror? Oh!
Wow. That's new.
Order! Order! Well, this is highly irregular.
Hey guys, what do you want to order? I want cheeseburger with fries and a tall iced tea. What you guys getting, huh? They have chicken nuggets. They have some delicious sauces too. What do you guys want? Come on. It's on the house. By Santa Claus here. Haha. Santa Claus came early for Christmas.
It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand. Ho ho ho.
Wow, steak. Fancy.
Ah, the wine!
And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zieks? There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical, I don't know how to read that one, theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes.
You want cheeseburger with 4 patties and a large root beer and a poutine. 4 patties. I can only eat 2. I can only go until double cheeseburger. That's amazing.
We must assume they would be able to testify accordingly.
I'm gonna be Minecraft villager.
What say you, witnesses?
Yes, sir. Constable Rolly Bate reporting for duty, sir.
Huh? Well, good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
A month? Oh,
Yeah, it's cute, right? The punching animation. Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Oh no, PDA! Take them away! Put them to jail! They don't. Ah, we're suffering! Ah, no! Get a room! Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more! Oh, Rolly, my hero! You make me swoon! Ah, pathetic! They're adorable? No, it's PDA! No, no, this is lewd. They're holding hands. It's lewd.
very well. I hereby reject the defense request
Oh,
and order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Ho ho ho.
yes, sir. Chkung. Constable Beats report. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrideb house are top-hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. So annoying couple.
Well, this is quite startling. Top hinge casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
What's a top-hinged casement window? Is it like swinging with the hinge on the top? Is that it? Ah, yes. Sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable.
Ah, so hinges on top. Okay, okay. No, sir. Sorry, but what exactly is a top hinge casement window?
And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
Of course. Sorry. I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's room. Alright, I'll try.
Wow, my bra came off, Nani.
Anyway. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. Yeah, it's probably used so that the rain doesn't go in when you have the window open. I think in modern day, this is what they call awning windows. Am I right? But as it's a top hinge casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see?
I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount.
It prevents its opening? This is all new news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
No. You see the problem then? Good. Your education in windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be!
Did you see that, really? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet. Had already my arguments been destroyed?
Counsel, if you would drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination.
My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation.
Pum 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 pum. Mata!
How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to us all policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember.
To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about.
And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for this world, while rubbing my tired eyes admittedly. Sir!
Oh, Rolly, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia.
Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett? You can't work with Van Zeeks for more than 3 years? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garridev's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we upload our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Huh. Warrant card. Is this like a warranty? Okay, let's take a look at that warrant thingamabob. Item number 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item number 2. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations.
Police regulations. Nani?
Oh, this is principles of policing. Ah, naruhodo. Metropolitan Police Regulations. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Item 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
Thank you for the posture check and the watering.
My fingers, they crack like 1,000 suns. Did you hear it? Was it satisfying crack?
Crack as in the sound, okay? I hope you're not thinking of the illegal substance. I don't do that. You're slouching, so good reminder.
Wow, everybody, let's do the stretchies. Yahoo!
And today's drink is coffee.
Just plain old coffee. Mata!
It's just a little funny because mata sounds like mata, which is the word for eye or eyes in Filipino language.
Something broke, it seems.
Well, as long as it's not the spine, you're good. By which you mean they don't fully open, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open. But what if the lady broke it? And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Yes, mga mata. Yes. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime on the other side of the rather wide road. Ho ho ho. Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garidem's house is furnished with?
Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. What's this?
Nani kore? Chotto! Do you have something to add, Mrs. B? Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean?
Hello, Nat Nat. I am not a peach. How dare you? How dare you give me a peach upon greeting me? Oi! 私はアプリコットよ. I'm an apricot. How dare you?
I will send... I'll send you down to Davy Jones' locker, you hear me? And you're gonna have a fun time with him. I don't know how, but he will make it so. Along with his undead minions, you hear me?
You'll be swimming with the fishes and whatever's beneath the ocean that we've never discovered. Rah! Apricot delicious. Huh? Oh, don't eat me. I come in pieces. There's no purpose in consuming me. I taste horrible. I've tried. Wah. That's a mango.
There aren't any apricot emotes. I know, I'm so unrepresented.
Nom. Ah! Why you bite on me? Oh.
Please be gentle, Sonake. それはちょっと痛いよ.
That's right, Zudi. Stab the peaches, ne? Hi.
You are a bear?
But you shouldn't eat me. No, it's illegal.
And why would you want to eat me, dear little bear? You love fruits? Oh my. Such a naughty little bear, aren't you? But then again, you're not so little, are you?
I tried eating myself. Well, I was curious, you know. Well, when you're bored, you're just curious, so I took a bite on my arm and then... I realized I don't taste good. I don't know. Or maybe because it's just me eating myself, so... I don't know. I don't know.
Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see. Oh, I hadn't realized. Oh yes, that street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? Constable beat.
Huh?
Yes, that's right. And that's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing the occupants of the Garideb household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir.
Was it juicy? I was bleeding, so I guess that's considered juicy. Because you're very tasty, very edible.
No!
What you saying?
If you try eating yourself, is that considered cannibalism?
Most likely. But I only tasted. It's not like a constant thing, so... I was only cannibalistic at that one point. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That really was cutting it close then. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garidem household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garideb's house?
Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat.
I see. I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all.
Apricot, no!
Cannibal added to the case.
No! I'm innocent. I don't deserve this. This is all prejudice. This is discrimination. No! No!
Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work.
Hold on, guys. My dog wants to get a belly rub, so I'm gonna voice this while hunching down.
Don't you think so, my darling? Where am I?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Who's the good little boy? Good baby Uhtred.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Oh, my back. My back.
I'm only 28 years old in this human life, but my back, it feels like I'm 50. Oh. And now it's my turn, I think.
Come closer, Uhtred. You're too far. I can't.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
I don't know what I'm pressing. Is it? Yeah, it's pressing. Okay. But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can't it guide you to answer the question? If a flaming bird had caught across the sky in front of us,
It would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars.
In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you?
Yes, sir, that's correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir.
It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
Oh, my back. My back. My back.
I'll just use my foot. He's moving further away. My doggy needs his belly rubs, ne? Good boy. Good boy, baby. Good boy. He's so happy. Would you like a treat, little Uhtred? And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. We all need a massage and spa day. Oh hell yeah, I need one too. Hey guys, let's go all together. What do you say? Hey Uhtred? Hey Edie. Let's all go together to the spa and have a massage together. Is that a thing? I heard people do like group massages and stuff. Hehe. Let's all treat ourselves to the spa. Spa.
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Rowley's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Rowley told me the way. Only I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rowley. Oh, please. So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes? But like I said, my Rowley was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Barbie is never really off duty, sir. Uhtred, stay. What's wrong, baby? Need a bathroom break? You wanna go outside? Alright. Okay, I'm gonna be right back, guys. Doggy needs pee-pee break, ne? He needs to pee. We must respect the dog. Haha. So, I'm gonna get up close and personal and give you the best smile I have. So wait for me, won't you? Won't you? Wait for me. I'll be right back. That's right.
I'll be back.
Hello, aloe vera. Hello, I am back. Uhtred refused to get back in the house.
Get back! Come back here! Go inside!
Oh, you lost to the staring contest 3 times? Oh, you're weak. Now you owe me... You owe me cake. Yes. Give cake. If not cake, give pizza. Yes? Yes. We are all on bathroom break. Cannot start stream when everyone's back. Unless they brought the stream with them in the bathroom. Okay. Oh wait, I'm still too big. There we go. Now I have proper size. Yes? Yes. Haha. So, what did you say?
I'm suddenly lost. Oh no.
Didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for 1 minute, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Is that so, Mr. Policeman?
Mata!
Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open at the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's owner, sir.
Owner, I mean honor. Really? That seems, a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Seems altogether regular to me, sir. Sir? Owner.
This burned copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garridev household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to burn as well.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. Wait, I just had a theory pop in my head. What if he's the bad guy? The cops are the bad guy.
But what did...
Because he didn't want to investigate on his anniversary night. Is that it? Well, I'm just throwing a guess, but it could be, right? The two mysteries of how the knife ended up in her back and how the book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
But why would he kill the lady? That I don't understand. But I can understand him moving the body, though.
Because it was his anniversary night. If he wanted to escape work, he would have carried the body out of his perimeter, right? Out of his so-called beat. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe he's just guilty for moving evidence, like moving the body. I don't know if he would have killed the lady. I don't know why. Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing? Please, just because I am a woman, it doesn't make me doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I am a woman of my word, I am. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard! My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. Beat, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire.
It's okay, Utren, I'm just voice acting.
Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. Ho ho ho.
That was a very loud mutter. I heard that! That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's words count for nothing, does he? Will? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. B.
Please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
I don't know, Susato. I don't know.
I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction's a little off sometimes, though.
Mata!
Mrs. Beat, nobody's questioning what you've told us. I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back, slinking away from the scene. Huh? And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. All very clear, ma'am. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction. Oh yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross.
Oh, Rolly, nani kore?
Tattoo. Constable Beat, is there a problem? No, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir.
I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine.
Well, she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15. Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease. But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rolly's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and pennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds. Ah, yes, how romantic.
Oh, hello! Welcome.
How's the lawyering? I'm getting sick and tired of these two. Well, we're doing well, I think. I'd forgotten all about it just now. Had you, my darling?
Yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh. Anzu hates true love, confirmed.
I don't like PDA, okay? And the PPDA. No, you know.
Get a room. What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange. I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet. Bouquet. That's how I remembered it back in grade school, so that I'd know how to spell it. Bouquet. I just kept a mental note that you pronounce it as bouquet. Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned, I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. What happened was, I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. Mata! You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked, I had dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. I was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first. And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on. Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. And that's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. In case you need reminding, Mrs. B, the victim is not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably. That's right. Silly me, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there, I really can't. Ho ho ho, I sent something here. Yes. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Curious indeed. Ho ho ho. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me. With that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting. By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose? Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rolly bought for me for our anniversary with old bits of change he found in the gutter. Maybe just call it a rose? Slowly piecing it together, I know, right? I think even Van Zeeks here gets it. What a lovely bouquet. I know, it's a singular bouquet. Tell us, Lord Van Zeeks, where did you come by the flower? Ho ho ho. According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garideb household. In front of the Garideb's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare. Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Ho ho ho. Oh. But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back. Good grief.
Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
Wow, she's feisty.
Okay, let's take a closer look at that rose. Rose. Pam 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 pam. Yeah, it's just one rose. Cute. At the same time, it's not a bouquet. Oh, what's this? It's a very stylish paper the flowers wrapped in, isn't it? It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me. Ah, I see. Is something wrong? Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake. Ah, Susato-san, you do love your cakes.
I love cake. Do you guys love cake? Cake is good.
An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower. Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before. Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo? I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least. Gosh, 3? Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom. Oh no. Okay. For context, they technically look almost exactly the same. They're also in the same family of flowers for what I know. They're all basically cherry blossoms or sakura. But they differ a bit in the number of petals and its shape for what I know. But they're technically almost the same thing. Perhaps you should consider branching out, learning some that aren't fruit tree based, for example. They're almost the same. Alright, so there's nothing special about the bouquet. Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the Lord's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt... Wait, are we back at the beginning? I think I've gone through this before. So how did it find its way to the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Ah no, this is different. Aha! Ah no, this is the same text. We've been through this. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we've been through this dialogue. Okay, I remember. So we can skip. Skippity skip. Skipper. Dun, 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 dun. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you make of all this? Yeah. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The 4th book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garida was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. Ho ho ho! I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair.
Ho ho, affair.
Has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garida. Hold on, I know there's something. I just have to think about it for a moment. Window. Turn out the window. Nothing was disturbed. I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. Is it this one? I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for a moment. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. I'm gonna take a guess. I'm not exactly sure. But what I think is maybe I'm supposed to show the rose? Because this is the object that changed place, right? The book was already in the hand of the victim, so I don't think that's the one. But this one, the wife said that, you know, it was in a different place when she came back. Maybe, despite her bad directions, maybe, just maybe, she wasn't actually wrong, right? So I guess let's try. Oops, wrong button.
Nah, wrong about that.
IGIARI!
Oh, music disappeared, am I right?
You claim, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to the beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Oh.
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described.
Wow, he's roasting everybody with no filter.
No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs. Oof. Meager? But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? Ho ho ha! Ho ho! No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rowley didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrideb's book. Mr. Garrideb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hand.
Ho, our hunch is right.
It was moved. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road, in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
Bum, bum, bum.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rowley's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says? Muttering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Oh, they're ganging up on him.
Oh good, Mrs. Garidev's come around. Ah. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garidev, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, but the person responsible for tampering cannot admit to it. Sooner or later she will have his neck, break his neck. I know, the scarf thingy, ne? For a very subtle but compelling reason. Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person.
So shonen.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? Ho, ho, ho.
Well, there's only one choice.
I mean, it's only Rolly who was there. He had the time to move anything.
Ne?
Kure!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat! It was you!
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making this up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about the Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it. If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well.
First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife. And now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with, but there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Ho ho ho.
Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the crime of the scene. Wait, what did I just say? Crime of the scene? Oh my god, I meant scene of the crime. My brain. That's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Bum 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 bum.
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. Ho ho ho. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide, well, the victim where the victim fell. To hide where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road, we saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know. That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end. Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Ha ha. Let me show you the way, Mr. McLegs. It's over here.
But that's on the opposite side of the road? I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garadeb's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. Why am I giving him a British accent? What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious! Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid. That was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't be. Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself and the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary! But the constable overlooked one thing. What? What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume. Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the streetlights cast no light. Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was the only bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road.
Haha, speechless lady.
And that is the defense theory about what really happened that evening. Do you respond, Constable Rowley?
Uh-oh, he's gonna break. Well, I'm very sorry.
I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rowley, It isn't true, isn't it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding righteous man I know.
Uh-oh. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all.
Good golly!
Oh boy! Oh boy! This guy's the bad guy!
Order! 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 You teared up a bit at this confession?
Oh, really? Interesting. Interesting, TP.
What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Well?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too.
Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London Town.
I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the yard's reputation. For everything. I have a possible explanation. For why on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman? And yet, Lord Van Zieks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. Ho ho ho. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence.
Get wrecked, Van Zieks. I know, right, Saru? At once, my lord. England, Japan. It makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions.
What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions?
What am I supposed to present here? Is it the rose or the warrant card? Because it could be the rose to say it's his anniversary. It could be the warrant card because... how do I say this? Because it could be, you know, talking about the jurisdiction, right? I'm gonna go with the bouquet. I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example.
Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly.
But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special.
Special? How? Ho ho.
On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh yes, It was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime scene along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot, being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Okay, now I understand why you cried because of this TPG. It is quite sad. It's genuine in terms of, why he did it, the feeling. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend me. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes.
Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh,
Exactly. I'll try to voice this nicely if it's emotional. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done?
It was the first time since I became a copper
That I'd ever curse God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then, it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mersham Street and then... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Constable.
I just wanted, just that one night, to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, Rolly.
Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring Beat's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see your meaning now. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly. That was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly.
And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total? Oh, 4. It was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garadev's household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting.
Okay, so...
Okay, right now what I'm thinking is, this dude is just guilty of moving the body. That's for sure. We can tell. But if Mrs. Olive Green was originally at the street where the Garadev's house is, my guess right now is that it's Mrs. Garadev who's going to go to jail. Because she was throwing stuff, right? So maybe she did throw the knife, hit the window, and it reflected the knife downwards and stabbed Mrs. Olive, right? That's what I think right now. Well, unless it was Mr. Garadev who threw the knife. But anyway, let's see. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who done it, I thought. While Mrs. Olive was picking the book, you're right, that would explain why she has the book in her hands when she died. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zix. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him?
For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
Yes, sir.
Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of the crime.
Never again, sir. You mean to say...
Leave now. The trial is not yet over.
Sir!
I guess that means he's forgiven? Because if Van Ziek said again, that means, you know, if he's back on patrol and he saw something like that, right? So he's not fired, right?
Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Ho ho ho. Who ever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of the crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime.
IGIARI.
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Van Ziek, is this true? Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas.
Okay, let's see. So I'm going to press the wife. It's the wife. The defense once again would like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again. Maybe a penalty of unpaid worker for the next 5 years. Oh my god, that's so harsh. My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joanne Garideb. Me? How dearie me?
That request has already been denied.
But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garideb, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad?
At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garideb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room,
Your husband opened a window that looks over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top hinge casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garideb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before? Oh. I don't recall it.
Seriously?
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there in all that regalia said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes. No, I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4. Oh. Make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out. But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. It seems that Mr. Van Zieks here is not a corrupt prosecutor, ne? So far we've seen constantly that he goes for the truth. He doesn't care if he's going to lose or win. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Miss Garideb? Mrs. Garideb. Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injure someone. Do you hear? I couldn't hear it. I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now. Chop chop. Do your worst. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? If I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror. Ho! The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zieks. I'm going to have to testify? Juror number 4, as I'm sure you will appreciate having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truth of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garideb. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. Alright, Mrs. Garideb, do your best shot. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real.
Oh, dramatic moment.
I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer.
Arigato for posture and hydration.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Crackety cracked.
Oh, yes. My name is Joanne Gaviteb, and I am a juror and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know what if she's a housewife or maid or what anymore.
The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam? Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh, dearie me.
Chin up, Joannie. Nothing to worry about now. I'm assuming it's her husband. Oh, it is Mr. Crescent Moonface. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. John? Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your knee, dear? Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John. Not another couple.
I presume you are Mr. John Garrideb?
Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were.
The quiet life. Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question?
Well, yes. Quite.
I hope this part's not too long, though.
I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Ho ho ho. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented.
Sell her out accidentally? I have a feeling.
However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question.
Sir, at once.
Here we go. Da-ba-dum.
Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked the candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd noticed if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's bag really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
Very confident. Why?
Oops, sorry.
It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Did you want me to tell you how much longer the case goes? A part of me feels this might be the last part because again, my guess is the maid or well, the wife is the culprit because if she was throwing things out the window, if the book fell first and then Mrs. Olive Green picked it up, and let's say Mrs. Garrideb threw the knife, it would deflect downwards exactly where Mrs. Green would probably be while, picking up the book. So if Mrs. Garrideb is the bad guy or the murderer in this case, then that would mean this is the last part of the case. Yeah, that's my guess. But don't tell me!
Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems.
The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment.
Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here?
Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end.
Remember, the lady lives, so no murder here, but definitely assault. Oh right, yeah, she's alive. I forgot. Man, I keep forgetting that. Hi. Attempted murder. Lol, joke.
Van Zieks,
why am I giving him a dark voice? Van Zieks may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, and I'm afraid so.
very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination. Ho ho ho.
Okay, let's just press every single thing. Mata! The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was stuck into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrideb. A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garrideb found the note, discovering her husband's little secret. And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it too.
What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth.
Even he understands. The Battle of Garrideb. Oh lord.
I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway. A likely story.
These waters run very deep.
And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face?
So it's about the fire. And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? Oops, sorry.
The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine really. Just so happens there was some bath water around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious situation you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from a public water pump during the day if you need any, you see. The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although, that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen the state of the man? I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough. Meanwhile, I was picking up whenever I could find to throw at him.
This is where it all starts. That's my gut feeling.
Even though the room was on fire? As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw.
That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo. How did she know I was thinking about that? So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin.
Aha, Mr. Gary Depp.
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garrida! Don't shoot, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker I seem to recall. Ouch. And the woman's aim is uncanny. Yeah! Good grief, woman, we're not home now. This is a court of law. Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear.
There she goes again.
What's she even doing with a teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously. Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, Your pipe, sir. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yes.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see. So your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now. Ah, you are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? I wonder what we should make of this account.
It could be important.
The defense believes Mr. Garidev's remarks just now to be of great significance. This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense one might say.
Might what?
In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
He like him young? Oh my god.
Ugh, he's old enough to be our grandpa. Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence.
Da-na-na-na.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Susato-san, we have some new evidence to work with.
We should examine it carefully. Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Gabidib. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim?
Dun 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 dun.
Okay, before we press that, let's take a look at the pipe. It's brokening. It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garidev's dressing gown. I suppose this might have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garidev, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this. Either that or he can't afford to replace it. Is there anything on it? Oh, what's this? Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe here. Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be. The knife. Oh. Yeah, it's quite a big of a tip, but okay. There's a small nick out of the bowl here. Look, it appears to have been made relatively recently. And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it? It's clearly a well-loved pipe. This stream now
NSFW. Huh? Nani? Wait, why? How did I become NSFW? Huh?
Is it because of the knife?
Nani? Huh? What do you mean? Eh? Talking about huge tips, lo. But because the piece was big, right? We saw it clearly in the hole of the pipe, right? That the big tip was in the big hole. What do you call it? The bowl? Bowl of the pipe? That's what Naruhodo said, right? Well, what's lewd about that? Huh? I don't get it. Huh?
It seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand-in-hand with getting some battle scars. Disclaimer, knife's blade tip.
Yeah. Now I'm confused. What's wrong with you, chat? What's happening? Huh? How dare you enter with dirty little minds? I'm gonna ask Onesan. Onesan! I don't know what they're talking about. Something about a tip. I have no idea. You're gonna check it? For real? Really? Okay. Ooh, you're in trouble now. Onesan's gonna call and get you. Ooh, busted. Ooh, busted. Yeah, take your time changing clothes, Onesan. I understand. Ooh, busted. Ooh, busted.
Oh, you're gonna get it now, boy.
No, okay. No.
Nessa!
Yes, hold on. Could you get me that, please? Thank you. Now let's see. Let me just check the chat. Which statement should I look for?
It's the one with NSFW. I don't know why they said that.
Okay. Let me just check. Oh my. What else?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh. All right, I understand it now. My. What a dirty little mind you have, TPG. Don't Google it. Well, of course I don't need to. I'm an adult, aren't I? I would know what that is. My, such a bad apricot, aren't you? What shall we ever do to you? What kind of punishment would be proper?
Oh, Nesan, I just want to finish the case first. Can you do the punishing later?
Well, if that's what you wish, my little Anzu.
Yeah, later. I want to finish the stream.
Alright then. I'll remember this, TPG.
Okay, Nesan, I'm coming. Huzzah! Huzzah! Where am I? Oh no,
I have been erased from existence. No! Where am I? No, I'm missing. I'm missing!
Oh no. Bah! Just kidding. Okay, where are we?
I wasn't the one who said it in the first place, not my fault.
Well, Onesan will be the judge of the ne.
I hope Onesan's not too much for YouTube though, so if something happens to this video, we know what happened. Because it's clearly new. What's our press again? Q! Sorry, would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a sport of carving, you see? Pipes and whatnot, fishing... Huh? Fishing tackle? You know the sort of thing. It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leather work. Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place, and we have dozens of the things. They sell them on the market sometimes, 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snap them up. John prefers to use 2 knives at meal times too, instead of a knife and fork. No, Joan. We don't want people thinking I'm some kind of... Ah! Here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so evasive? I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim. Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witness. Sir! So you have no intention of admitting it was your knife, unless we can produce proof?
Ooh, he's sweating buckets.
Even though there is no other credible possibility of Mr. Natsume is innocent?
IGIARI.
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack.
As if I could forget. If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. But I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream. Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo?
What? You mean it's not a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists? Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say. But I can't see anything.
There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice. Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigations.
But for now, we shall have to find an alternative method of proving your assertion that this knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Garadev's house. If only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. That's the extent of their testimony, isn't it? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony. But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident. Yes, I know. I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury. If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything. Yes, it would. So for Saseki-san's sake, we must find that last crucial piece of evidence.
I think I kind of found it. Nah.
I wonder what we could use. Picking everything that you could find to throw at him. Could it be the knife? I mean, that's the only thing I could think of to really give. How? Let's take a look. Well, in this one, it's not. Could we use the tip here? I guess we could try. Maybe have 4 lives. Why not?
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, is it correct? Mr. Garadev, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please?
Gigi, is it this?
You can ask, but I can't see a bully thing.
You can?
You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days, I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. Oh, he does. Dearie me, it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word. You must be very doozy.
Huh?
You must be very busy. I think that's what he wants to say. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garadev's pipe. My pipe, you say? But by Jove, I wonder how that got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Council?
Are you suggesting that it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road? Ho ho.
I am.
What? Nani?
When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord.
Ho ho ho.
She's standing on a box.
You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, counsel. Very well then. Present the pertinent evidence to the court. Ho ho ho. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case?
これです。
This is a knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there is a small piece. There is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing.
A common issue with the inferior blade sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in the victim's bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
IGIARI.
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garideb's pipe. Oh, Chotto. Did you see that? Oh my god, someone clip that please. The way that Mr. Van Zeeks just went dramatic. Oh my god.
I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal.
He's so dramatic.
Are a perfect match. Good golly gosh. Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle?
So Van Zeeks has figured it out, hasn't he?
Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once.
Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is, when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garideb's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles. She did, yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Not sure where she put it. You may send it to me in Twitter. My DMs are open. For the Discord server, I'm just probably gonna end up opening it within this month without really tinkering anything, because I think the roles are actually working. But I'm gonna check still, but I'll just open it anyway. I'm so not sure anymore. I've had no time to really check. Gomen ne, Mina.
Arigato. Thank you for DMing it to me. I shall play it over and over in my amusement.
Kame is dead though. Oh no, I'll probably have to reconnect our little turtle bot in the Discord.
Oh, dearie me.
During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garideb flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garideb, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course.
Good lord!
Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garideb's pipe.
The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1!
And yet, there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. In short, this knife which fell from the window of the Garideb's house is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below.
Oh gosh, oh dear, oh
Hehe. Eh? I thought I had it, not me. Ooh, he's drinking again.
A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument.
Sorry?
But after all, it is just a theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, it's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency.
An insurmountable way?
Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself. What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back.
Yes, in her...
Now you got it. She just slapped him like some piece of meat. Oh my god.
That's right, you silly little man.
Now, Joanne, old thing, what are you getting so excited about?
Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above,
The poor cut.
there's no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. Order the cheeseburger! Quite right, you say? That's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head.
Well,
He's lost for words. Look, I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place. I don't know, though, what really did happen. It would appear the defense has made rather a spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history.
Oh no, he's gonna tear his hair off and then he's gonna be bald and then he'll be the version where there's no hair on his head and he'll just be a shiny bald guy. And instead of a shiny badge, he'll have a shiny head.
I already know what to say. She bent down to take the book, right? So if she bent down to take the book, it would hit her back.
I'm way ahead of you, Mr. Van Zeeks.
I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Ugh. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand. Miss Osato! You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Wait, hold up. I don't know exactly what to show. Hold on. Ah, it's this one, I think. The one holding the book. Okay. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed. Ooh, look at Mr. Garindem's robe. His butt's exposed. This inconsistency doesn't mean I was in the wrong track. It means I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel! There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness! Utter madness! Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. Sneaky! Welcome! Long time no see! I hope you're well too, Sneaky. I'm good. I hope things have been well for you too, ne? Long time no see. Yeah. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is... Wait, do I show this picture or the book itself? Well, maybe the book would be clearer? I mean, it's kind of almost the same thing. Oops, wrong button. What was it? R. No. E? No. It's R. There we go. It just didn't register. Busy modding QT. Aw, I missed you too, Sneaky. But it's good to know you're alrighty. And I see you're still modding. Nice. Do your best, but yeah. Take care, ne? This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final evidence the defense will present. The burnt book? Is that not Mr. Garindem's book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. 40 several channels is getting a little much. Bro. That's a lot. But as we all now know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so. As part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand?
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By Jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dearie me! We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garrideb household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw? Yes, Mrs. Garrideb. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking around and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked up the book? Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at the same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Well, I never! It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor, in the dark and the fog. He didn't see the knife falling on her from above. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker.
Man, his face looks like he hasn't slept in forever.
So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Ho ho ho. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb?
Well, they didn't expect to kill someone.
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. There they'll all been.
Natsume-san has no screen time at all. He has no screen time on the case at all. Yeah, except for like outside the court.
Poor Mrs. Garrideb. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it?
Wait, in a case like this, it's clearly an accident, it's not intentional, so I wonder what happens to her.
I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear. It's all right. I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry!
Oh, she fainted.
In the arms. Oh no.
Ooh, he's gonna break his back. Oh, he's holding on. Oh, never mind.
That blasted leg of his, I know. Lord Van Zeeks, what news of Mrs. Garridon? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they've caused what could easily have been a terrible tragedy.
Oh, she could get out on bail? Probably. Well, I guess in cases like this, if it's really an accident, like what we've seen, I guess I don't mind if they get out on bail. They didn't mean it.
They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There is good news, however, my lord. I have just word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon.
It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her. How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news.
So, Mr. Soseki Natsume.
Oh, there he is, finally.
Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your pardon.
Wait, he's not British. What am I doing? Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I just jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion.
What conclusion, sir?
I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure that there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away.
I should have called for help! For a doctor! For the police!
Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry.
One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been worked here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zieks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Ho ho ho.
Oh,
Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask you one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assume we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times.
well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure.
Sitting in for the old bean whilst she's out of action, you know. But I know what her decision would be.
Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time.
I say, I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I?
Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman!
I like their voices.
Bam 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 bam. Explosion!
Very well. Mr. Soseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty.
Confetti! Yay! Hurrah! Hurrah!
Hurrah! Rah 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 boom tie! Rah 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 boom tie! You win! Muzai, but M is silent. Kek. Yeah, it's kinda silent. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. And for real this time, unlike the last case. Huh? Oh, do you mean he's not gonna die? Oh yes, sir. Of course.
On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears.
So cute. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. Ho 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 ho. 20th February, 3:17 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
Oh, Locum.
Wait, you mean me? I mean, this one actually appears to be innocent and not tampered the case. Oh, okay. I was just thinking because the finale was like the person we defended in the previous case, you know, went up in flames in the carriage. So I thought you meant about the rumor of someone always dying if the prosecutor is Mr. Van Zieks.
Of course! Is there another Locum here?
Is there even one? Compared to the original Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name?
Oh, at last!
I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah!
Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so bored just to say that then?
Locum,
You did it. You saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault, after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. Ooh, one trivia. I now realize why this pose has been bothering me. This is quite close to the real pose that the real Natsume Soseki had in one of his pictures. I remember. It's a little different, but it's kind of almost similar. I get it now why he keeps doing this.
No! Not that!
Lovely, loyal, locum lawyer!
Yes? I mean, as I said before, I have just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me laughing.
Oh, look at that little hunchback.
You too, TPG. Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you Locum Loyo gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those blabbing British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed.
Behold the best barrister ever born!
Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan.
An anecdote?
Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Okay, I don't know who's saying this, but I'll just pretend I know. Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. Oh, no, it's him. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. Such a fangirl. I see I am here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh. The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. You're too late, my dude. It just finished. What? No. Then my haste was in vain?
Ah! It's you! Herlock Sholmes!
Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Soseki also has a pretty baller tycoon mustache in one of his real-life pictures. Yeah, he does. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light.
Charming.
This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. You wish you could grow a mustache that big? I've heard my dad said try putting like vapor rub on your mustache or facial hair area. The heat from vapor rub would like stimulate it to grow more hair or thicker. That's what I hear him say to my brother. Maybe you could try? My apologies, sir, but I assure you I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she could have regained consciousness by now. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been
shaken by such an experience.
I do feel very bad about how I behaved.
Well, never mind. Now then, what is it that you wanted to say to me, sir?
Shave it often, it will work in opposite. Yeah, don't shave often. Whether you're a girl or a guy, because it can actually lead to problems for what I know. Aside from like ingrowns, your hair would be used to always being shaved off, so it's not really going to grow much, I think. Yeah, I do agree. It's a bad myth. If she hadn't been dragged across the street by a particularly lovely Bobby, I guess.
Well, never mind then. What is it that you wanted to say to me, sir?
Nothing.
Oh, priceless. Oh, I am so sorry, really, but that was quite priceless.
Poor Soseki-san.
Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty.
But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and
now by the Reaper!
Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty,
You're still doomed!
it will be alright, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you.
Hiya!
Wait.
Hiya!
Okay, there we go. Realistic experience. With a perfect executed Susato takedown. Hey everyone. Hey chat, you're all upside down. What's happening? Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. Hey, help me up. Oi, don't leave me like this. Oi! Oi!
Help.
Help! So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now?
ちょっと待って. I'm back.
My blood. It hurts. You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan? Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh. It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors.
Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you.
I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse.
That's not it at all!
The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Soseki-san. Could be an interesting read. Well, he is an actual author. And what about Miss Susato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London, and only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet. And you are accommodated in the hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you can take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind a cursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. We'll think about it if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer you a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself, though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to take in lodgings in the great detective's office attic. I'm too overcome for words. So, suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you, and yes. Wonderful! Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. The fangirl is happy. Need to keep an eye on Sasato. Yeah, that's right. Lokum. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Lokum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I've little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening.
Poor Natsume-san.
And so, with Sasaki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street.
Oh, this is the attic? Oh, I want to take a tour. Can I tour around? Okay, let's see. Oh, look at this place. So clean now. Thank you, Iris. Wherever you are. Wow, guys, look, it's so nice. It's big and spacious. Oh, nice. Look at that. Look at that. Oh.
Why is there garlic here? Is there a vampire?
Nani?
Dracula? Nosferatu? Alucard? Doko?
Oh. Nice place.
So this is to be our new office. Yes,
Oh, I see, Mr. Sato.
our office. I rather like the sound of that.
It's yours? Why do you have garlic? Are you making garlic noodles? They're tasty. Yeah, or garlic chicken. Chimkan.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
Well, it's big.
I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. Kazuma! I miss my Kazuma! To fend off Vanzi. Oh my god, the garlic is to fend off Vanzi. So I would understand. He is kind of like a vampire, isn't he?
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my position. Eh?
Haha. Haha.
But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place?
Who are you?
Oh, it's Sholmes. Without the costume.
He looks so English.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes, yes, thank you so much.
Ah, naruhodo. Is that so, Snaku?
I didn't know that. I thought people just did that because, you know, the vampire superstition. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good, I'm pleased to hear that. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. Oh, you put them in your closet? But wouldn't that make the clothes smell?
It's Iris, the cute little girl. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate.
Iris, you must let me help you.
All right then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid.
Wait, if garlic likes dark places and likes to be locked away from the world so that it wouldn't rot and die, does that mean garlics are vampires too?
Bum bum bum.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually.
Yeah, mind blown.
I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is.
Sorry?
London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity and myth. But the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows.
Shadows? What do you mean?
Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies beyond London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London.
Darkness. Secrets. Ho 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 ho.
Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it.
Oh, is there a cutscene? Alright. The end of chapter 4, or case number 4.
Save your progress?
Oh, hell yeah. So, everybody, since we solved another case, that means we can stop here.
If you enjoyed your time or you liked what experience you ever had here and would like to give me some support, free of charge, punch that like button
and poke that subscribe button if you're not subscribed with your greatest smile. And if you have the extra effort, feel free to comment down below. Because algorithm says they'll push you if you get comments, so yeah. Hi. Feel free as well to support me or follow me with my other socials. I'm usually in Twitch on Wednesdays, and on Sundays I am here in YouTube. For now, because of my IRL work, I only stream 2 times a week. So try not to miss it, ne?
Because I'll miss you if you're gone, you know? I miss you guys. I love you all. I get lonely sometimes without stream because I miss you all. Ne? Ne.
Algorithm says do everything.
Yeah, that's right. Algorithm says do everything. It's do or die.
Alright. So, follow the apricot, so I have one more apricot in one place to eat. I mean,
Sunako. Oi. Omae.
Alright. So, let's do our outro. If you know it, say it with me. If you don't, listen well so that we can do it together next time. Yes. Alright. Otsu Anzu. And as always,
Katonk.
I'll see you in the next package delivery.
Bye bye. Bum 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 ba ta ta tum bum bum. Bum 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 bum.
I have to ship myself back. I am a delivery girl after all.
Now let's see. If I put my foot here and then here. Hey. Hey you. Yeah, you. Make sure you like and subscribe, ne? Ne? And comment if you want, ne?
Or else, this will be in your nightmares, you know? You know what will happen? You'll have a box out of nowhere. And the first thing you'll see would be this. And then it will be with the Jaws movie theme.